Imagine driving a car that feels part classic sculpture, part AI-powered spaceship. A vehicle that doesn't just whisper of the past, but resurrects it while staring boldly into the future. That's the promise behind the Mercedes Vision Iconic EV, a concept car designed to defy trends and ask a simple question: can the golden era of automotive beauty coexist with the bleeding edge of electric and autonomous technology? This is more than just a design exercise. It's a manifesto for how luxury mobility could look in the next decade and beyond. Mercedes-Benz has unveiled many concept cars over the years, but few demand attention quite like the Vision Iconic. Revealed in Shanghai in 2025, it's a clear signal that Mercedes wants to bring warmth, character, and emotion back into an EV era that's often dominated by minimalism and sameness. Traditional automakers are under pressure. New EV brands from China and South Korea are producing advanced, eye-catching vehicles faster than ever. Mercedes, though, wants to remind the world that craftsmanship and identity still matter. The Vision Iconic is their bold answer. From the moment you see it, the Vision Iconic doesn't just look futuristic, it feels timeless. Its sweeping proportions, long hood, and teardrop roofline are direct callbacks to the grand tourers of the 1930s and 1950s. The iconic Mercedes grille has been completely reimagined, a massive illuminated sculpture that blends glass, chrome, and light into a shimmering statement. It's elegant but commanding, a deliberate rejection of the plain, closed-off fronts seen in many modern EVs. The car's lights aren't just functional, they communicate. The grille star glows, pulses, and breathes like a living entity, while the headlights carry Mercedes' signature three-pointed star motif. Inside, the story gets even more fascinating. Because this car was designed for a semi-autonomous and eventually fully self-driving future, Mercedes rethought what a cabin could be. The interior is a lounge, soft, spacious, immersive. You're surrounded by brass accents, deep blue velvet, and warm materials that feel more like a private jet suite than a car. Every surface seems intentional, every texture deliberate. The designers call it Art Deco Reborn, a harmony of classic geometry and futuristic minimalism. At the heart of the interior is something Mercedes calls the Zeppelin. It's a floating glass instrument panel that stretches from pillar to pillar, acting as both display and sculpture. When you open the door, it wakes up, glowing gently as the digital instruments come alive. The centerpiece is a clock shaped like the Mercedes star that doubles as an AI assistant, responding to your voice and gestures. It's subtle, luxurious, and slightly surreal, blending the mechanical artistry of the past with digital intelligence from the future. The steering wheel itself looks like something off a luxury yacht, a massive four-spoke design that feels ceremonial rather than practical. That's because it's part of a steer-by-wire system, where all control is electronic. There's no physical connection to the wheels. Combined with rear-axle steering, it offers an entirely new driving sensation. Smooth, intuitive, and incredibly precise. When the car drives itself, the wheel fades into the background, leaving you free to relax in the spacious cabin. Then comes one of the most intriguing technologies showcased in this concept: solar paint. Mercedes has developed a coating that works like photovoltaic skin, capturing sunlight and converting it into usable energy. In ideal conditions, an area roughly the size of a mid-size SUV could produce enough electricity for up to 12,000 kilometers of driving per year. The coating contains no rare earth materials or silicon, making it recyclable and environmentally friendly. Even when parked, the car continues to collect and store energy from the sun, The Vision Iconic also demonstrates Mercedes' progress in neuromorphic computing, a technology inspired by how the human brain processes information. This approach could cut the energy needed for autonomous driving data by up to 90% compared to current systems. That's crucial because modern EVs use immense computing power to process camera, radar, and LiDAR data. Making that process more efficient means more range and less heat. A smarter brain for the car of the future. Autonomy is central to the Vision Iconic. Around town, it offers Level 2 driver assistance, meaning it can handle most situations, but still requires attention. On the highway, however, Level 4 autonomy takes over. Full self-driving capability in specific conditions. The car can steer, accelerate, brake, and even change lanes without human input. It can park itself completely autonomously too, without relying on special infrastructure. Imagine stepping out of your car at a restaurant and watching it glide away to find a parking space, silently and intelligently. Of course, for all its elegance and promise, the Vision Iconic is still a concept, a glimpse of what's possible, not a blueprint for immediate production. But Mercedes has hinted that certain design cues, like the illuminated grille, the lighting animations, and the digital-analog instrument combination, will begin appearing in new models soon. The next generation S-Class, expected around 2028, could be the first production car to carry traces of this design language. There are, however, challenges. Solar paint still faces hurdles of efficiency and durability. Neuromorphic processors are cutting-edge, but not yet mass-producible. Regulations in many countries still require physical steering linkages, complicating steer-by-wire systems. And some of the opulent materials used in the concept would be far too delicate or expensive for mass production. Still, concept cars aren't meant to be practical. They're meant to dream. And dream this car does. It's not just a showpiece. It's a statement of intent. Mercedes is saying that electric cars don't have to look sterile or soulless. They can be emotional. They can be moving works of art. The Vision Iconic reminds us that even as mobility becomes automated and electric, there's still room for human craftsmanship, for beauty, and for storytelling. You can see it in the way every detail connects to history. The hints of the 300 SL Gullwing, the echoes of the Grand Pullman sedans, the star that's always guided the brand. It's nostalgia meeting innovation. It's elegance meeting intelligence. So, what does the Vision Iconic really tell us? It tells us that Mercedes believes the future of cars isn't just about how fast or efficient they are, it's about how they make us feel. It's about presence, about soul, about memory. Even if this exact car never touches the road, its ideas will ripple through the next generation of Mercedes vehicles, from design philosophy to sustainable tech. Maybe that's the real point. Not to build this exact car, but to remind us that automotive art is still alive. That the future doesn't have to abandon the past to move forward. The Vision Iconic EV isn't just a machine. It's a love letter to an era when cars were more than transport. They were expressions of dreams, elegance, and possibility. So, when you look at it, this shimmering sculptural silhouette that seems to breathe, ask yourself, is this the car of tomorrow, or the rebirth of something we thought we'd lost? Whatever the answer, one thing's clear. Mercedes has reminded the world that even in the electric age, beauty still matters.